Hey, welcome into DC On Screen, a podcast about the DC Universe properties being brought to film and television. I am your host, David C. Robertson, and this is my co-host, Jason.
Hello.
That was weird.
I know. I thought I'd throw you off.
That was... I think there was only one episode where you didn't go, hello.
No. Well,
okay.
I just wanted to make an unnecessary pause in the pacing of the show, so I thought I'd throw that in there.
That's what we
accomplished
for, folks.
Yeah. My duty here's done. I'm going to go ahead and check out.
My God, we have so much freaking news this week.
It was kind of smattered.
I am very much looking forward to, hopefully, there being a time when we're actually reviewing TV shows.
Yes. Yeah, what is that?
It'd actually be nice to have content.
3 weeks or something? It's not long.
God.
It's not long at all. I want to say the 21st Gotham starts. I know Gotham is going to be the first one to, reprieve us of this. Yeah, it's the 21st. Yeah, and it's the first one that gets
I thought it was... Is it the 21st? Well, wait, no. Mm-hmm. Supergirl starts, what, the 16th?
Of, October.
Oh, boo.
She's way back there.
All right, I can deal with not watching Supergirl for a while longer.
Well, I thought it would give you more time to try to hype yourself up. And is there a joke in there somewhere about the girl starting last, even on scheduling?
Well, I've tried. I have really tried, but I've been trying to get amped up for it. But there hasn't been a lot of news about it. There haven't been it's just been oh, here's a thing where we're talking about Callista Flockhart.
Right. No, there's no fodder. It's just you have a current cast. They're saying how excited they are, and every time they cast another Monster of the Week, we get a little bit of update about that. That's it. There's just nothing to really chew on yet.
Well, something that they have released, not for Supergirl, but for Arrow, man.
Of course,
they've released a second trailer. They're calling it the So Cool trailer. I don't understand.
I couldn't figure that one out either. I couldn't.
That's what it was listed as, but whatever. So we get Oliver running along in the suburbs, and purportedly, I think this is probably Amanda Waller from a flashback saying the world is too small for someone like Oliver Queen to disappear. Oliver looks to be hiding an engagement ring for Felicity in a cupcake.
I'm not even sure that's not something Amanda said before. When he was being chased down in China, almost. It
might be.
It definitely does sound like a thing she would say, at least.
So Oliver is hiding an engagement ring, and Thea and Laurel show up, and they need the Arrow back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, wow. Cock blockers of the century, right?
Right?
He's got the ring on a tray. It's on a tray.
Yeah.
It's ready to go.
And then you got Ollie, voiceover. Mm-hmm. The only things I brought back from the island were pain, suffering, and darkness.
And some mad archery skills. Give yourself a little bit of credit.
Right?
You got some things accomplished.
Right.
Got in shape. Learned how to shoot. Apparently learned how to hunt. Got very used to ending folk. I guess that goes in the pain category. But we're good.
So, then we see the Star City police are having a little trouble with Anarchy.
Of course. Yeah, they look so scared, too.
I know.
That's
and
Anarchy.
Paul Blackthorne, Lance is like, dissemble means anarchy.
I know. He was terrified.
Yeah. He always looks a little terrified.
He does look a little terrified. Oh, apparently he's just constantly worried that his heart's going to stop. I
actually sat down and watched Dumb and Dumber 2 with my little sister and my mom this week. And I forgot, again, that Paul Blackthorne is in that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's got the accent, his actual accent.
The way his voice works.
Killed me.
Yeah.
It just killed me.
Oh,
I don't know.
He's suave as all hell.
Yeah, and he's just looking at them, Carrie and Daniels as like they're idiots. And he's like, may I remind you that you've been shot.
I know there wouldn't be an explanation for it, and I'm almost sure we've discussed it, but how much more fun would the show be if they just let him talk just use his actual accent?
I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't at all.
Just like I wouldn't be against it if they let Barbara in Gotham use her actual accent, because she's like Australian or something, or British or something.
Yeah, she does kind of look like it. I don't know. She's got I don't know how to say it's an Australianish face, but it looks like a face that could get on a surfboard.
But, I saw an interview with her, and she was talking in, that accent. I was just like, oh, well, this could work. She's kind of captivating.
Would have been a whole new flavor, but never mind. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a little bit like one of those things where, when you get a foreign actor to portray an American. Like sometimes, like when they do the American accent, they can't really carry over emotions well. Like I think they become poorer actors for it.
Probably. I just assume it's too much to focus on in an even second. Yeah, you're
right. They're just playing it so flat.
Right.
Anyway,
I mean, some people can get into an accent, and you just never. Garfield, for instance, has a deeply British accent, but man, you can't tell watching that film or any of them with him. Really,
no.
It's a great American accent, and he just seems to be able to do his job on top of having a good accent.
Yeah, I mean, screw Garfield, Hugh Jackman,
right? See,
but
of course, he just
importantly,
a lot of his script is growling, which I think you can do in any language.
Oh, don't fool yourself into thinking that, sir.
I'm pretty sure an Australian going "Hurr" sounds the same as an American going,
I don't think
"Hurr," just like pirates.
Yeah,
both they.
All right. Anyway, so we get Ollie going, I don't want to be that kind of person anymore. And Felicity's saying, well, maybe you just need to be a different kind of person. And she unveils the Green Arrow suit like we saw in the previous trailer. Now, there are a lot of action scenes. One of the cool additions in this trailer is Damian Dark stopping Green Arrow's arrow in midair with magic.
I think that was the part where they named it So Cool. Because admittedly, one of the things I thought was, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then we hear Damian Dark.
What do you bet? Magic? Superpower?
Oh, it's magic.
Hadron Collider?
It's magic. Nah,
Demons?
it's magic.
Does he have an amulet?
It's magic.
Just plain magic.
Just magic. He says, I want to know everything there is to know about this Green Arrow, where he lives, who he loves. We get shots of Felicity in bed with Oliver.
My heart sank. My heart sank when I heard who he loves, because I thought, fuck, they're gonna tease kidnapping Felicity the entire season before they do it. It's just as bad.
Yeah, I don't think they might not kidnap Felicity and put her in danger, but I do now believe they're going to kill her.
That would kill me, but it would be a really impressive move for the show.
That would be Berlanti and Co. like whipping their Whedon dick out, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited. Let's do this.
The old give them what they need, not what they want.
Yeah. I
mean, I still miss
I'm
Tara.
not saying that's going to happen. I never missed Tara.
What the hell's wrong with you? Willow was so happy.
I didn't miss Tara until Kennedy came along, and then I was just like, oh, I miss Tara.
Right.
Kennedy was an awful character.
No.
Oh, Buffy season 7, how you failed us. Anyway.
That's another show.
That's another show.
We should just do one called Weed Nights, part of what we love.
So, we hear Ollie saying amidst a bunch of action shots, we hear Ollie say, the only way I know to fight the darkness is to be darkness. And then we get Amanda Waller in flashback saying, embrace it. And the trailer tells us, embrace your dark side.
Yeah, which you heard in Darth Vader's voice, right?
Right.
Go get that Star Wars money there, Marc.
Well, you know what? I actually got pissed when it did it, because I was like, no. All summer, you've been telling me there's going to be a lighter tone on the show. You've been telling me that like Ollie's going to be a little happier. You're telling me it's going to be more like The Flash, which is a fantastic show, much better than Arrow, and
because it does all those things.
Right.
Those are not unrelated.
And I was like, so I felt like that was a big F you to the fans, honestly. But
yeah, I watched the whole thing and I was pretty excited. I kind of peaked on excitement about the time Dark stops an arrow. Watch, that's going to end up being something lame like a dream sequence. But I peaked on excitement there, and then when they mentioned Felicity, I got a little timid, and then by the time it says embrace your dark side, I was kind of dropping down the excitement level.
Now,
exactly like
embracing,
you said. I literally I finished it and I wrote down the more things change ...
Right. But here's the caveat to that. If embracing the dark side is Oliver still being more lighthearted and taking joy in his dark side, you'll recall I said previously on this podcast, I am fully in favor of Oliver going willy-nilly and killing some folk again.
No, yeah, you wanted him to be a maniacal killing machine.
Yeah. So if we get lightheartedness with Killing Machine, I think I'm back.
Oh, at that point we have, you might as well turn Felicity into Harley.
I'm good with that.
I'm not. It's not a problem, really. Not a problem at all. Get those people a couple of playing card themed outfits and go.
Now, the thing that after the embrace your dark side bit in the trailer that really got me going again, though, was like this trailer was like a little roller coaster for me. Diggle to Ollie says, "You took a bullet for me," and Oliver just kind of smiles and goes, "Eh."
Yeah. I'm wondering what that is. I'm thinking it's going to be one of those scenes where he didn't mean to get in front of him. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Oh God, man. So.
Yeah. So that's
that'll do it though, right? That'll do it on that whole, the fracture of that bromance. Hey, you took a bullet for me. We're cool now.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
It's hard to.
I hope they get over that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've never had someone take a bullet for me, but I assume it's a very bonding experience.
I'll say this: if for some reason over the summer Diggle found a way to get the Joe eyes, to get the Jesse L. Martin eyes,
nobody gonna have the Joe eyes. Nobody can match the Joe eyes.
If he can, that would allow me. Like, if Laurel could do that, I'd probably be mostly okay with her character.
Well, her eyes are just they're the right size, but they just don't do the same thing to me. It's just a matter of talent. I don't think it.
No, there's some quick bits here on Arrow. Paul Blackthorne Instagrammed a picture of himself with Stephen Amell and Rutina Wesley, and she's wearing her lady cop gear, her metahuman task force gear, whatever they're called.
Whatever it is the hell they're going to do with her. I don't know.
It looks like she's not going to be able to move very well.
She'll find a way.
Now, Marc Guggenheim talked briefly about Laurel's connection to Sarah's resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Sarah's resurrection very much comes about because of decisions that Laurel makes and choices that Laurel will then have to live with. The episodes dealing with Sarah's return are amongst probably the heaviest material that we've had for Laurel. We're using Sarah's return to really get underneath not just Laurel as a person, but the relationship that she has with Thea and the friendship that she has with Oliver. That's sort of another reason that I'm thinking they're going to kill Felicity. Because in the comics, we know that Laurel and Ollie wind up together at some point. Now, they do, I think, get divorced later.
Right.
But,
superhero marriages are about as likely to survive as any given superhero. They all die eventually. They all come back.
Right. I
don't know. It'll be kind of fun to see if Laurel can pull that off. And where does that rank though between her whole lying to Lance thing and her?
I don't know.
Addiction issue. Where does this rank as far as heavy? I mean, is he?
If this is who knows? It's Marc Guggenheim. I mean,
that's true.
I
don't think he gets enough sleep. He lies without knowing it. He doesn't mean to hurt us.
Did you want to talk about the dick move?
Yeah, briefly. Only to mention that all of that news out there about the Green Lantern showing up on the premiere, guys, come on, tits, cold, please.
Yeah,
he says there may or may not be a ring. Okay, well, go watch the second trailer. There's a fucking ring.
Right.
Come on, Mark. Come on. Just slap me in the face with a fucking red herring.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're still going to get that billboard in the back about
Yeah. In Brightest Day.
Yeah.
Blackest Night. Come to Coast City when money's tight.
Right. Just, you better have a lantern in here somewhere, you son of a bitch. I'm not even saying this season. I'm just saying before you get canceled or walk off into the sunset, there better be one somewhere.
Actually, you know what? I think that billboard is them hanging that lantern.
Made a joke. Drop the mic. He's out.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't mind if they did something, different. There's a lot of colors of lantern. Don't use green, yellow, or pink, or sapphire, or whatever. Go find another one. Just grab a blue lantern for no good reason.
Yeah.
Like Arrow could use some hope. Come on, guys.
I was gonna say they should just keep cutting away instead of flashbacks this year. Let's just do indigo lanterns, like the weird little non-language lanterns. Just
yeah.
Oh God.
They can't. Well, I guess they.
All right. So
avarice is hard to do. There's find one. Just find one to play with.
Another trailer dropped. The Flash Other Worlds trailer. Now, it doesn't look like they're going to do
a roller coaster.
No, it doesn't look like they're going to do like a proper season 2 Flash trailer. But they've been putting out a lot more promos than Arrow has.
Yeah.
And also, they don't have to market it nearly as much because the Flash is way more popular.
Right.
So
a lot of the money's already in the bank. They're good.
Yeah.
So, are you going to watch that show?
I'm going to watch it.
I'm just. We're already there.
Mm-hmm. So, the Flash of the World's trailer, Flash is talking to Atom Smasher and says, "Why did you try to kill me?" Mm-hmm. And Atom Smasher says he promised to take me home if I killed you. Mm-hmm. And the Flash says, "Who promised you that?" And then zoom. Mm-hmm. And then someone else, I don't know who this is, but you see a clip of someone saying, "Zoom sent me here to kill the Flash." And then we see Jay Garrick.
Yeah, the kind of shaggy-haired guy, right? I don't know what his story is, but...
I don't know who he is.
I think at some point he's like gut-punching a really fast flat... I don't know who he is, but he looks like he might be interesting.
Yeah. Then we see Jay Garrick, and he says, "Zoom is an unstoppable demon, and your world is in danger." And great line from Cisco. What other worlds are there?
Right?
Jay Garrick says, when you created the singularity above Central City, you created a breach, a portal. If he, Atom Smasher, got through, there will be more to follow. Mm-hmm. Then we get introduced to Patty Spivot. Joe says to her, "You realize that metahumans have superpowers, right?" And Patty says, "I may not have powers, but I want to stop them." Already, she's annoying me.
Oh, come on. I thought that was endearing.
It almost like...
She's an underdog. I'm with her. Down.
I know, but she was so melodramatic. It was like little mini Shatner.
Well, you would kind of act up if you were staring down Jesse L. Martin's eyes, too. I challenge you not to ham it up, him standing across you.
The Jesse L. Martin eyes can't be used as an excuse for everything.
The hell I can't. Next time I'm late to work, Joe's eyes, man. Joe's eyes. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Here's a bit of fun. Golden Glider says to Cisco, "I always did like a man who could handle a gun." And Cisco says, "You should see my Nerf collection."
Right. We're not going to lose. We're not going to lose funny Cisco. Thankfully.
Oh my God, that was great.
He's grown on me. God, I did not like him for like 3 or 4 episodes.
I know. I was actively worried about his character when they showed up on Arrow in season 2 or whatever it was.
Bad.
It was just like, I don't care. Anyway. There are clips of the Flash Celebration Day. Lots of clips of him fighting Atom Smasher.
Yeah. And whoever the other Shaggy guy is. Shaggy dude? Shagman.
Yeah. And then Iris telling Barry, "Central City believes in the Flash, and so do I." Now that is pretty much all I have on the trailer. But it does segue nicely into Candice Patton talking about her role as Iris. Last week we talked about how Andrew Kreisberg, the EP, said that Iris will be stepping up into a leadership role, and so on and so forth. Candice Patton is saying that is a gross exaggeration.
Really?
Yeah. She says that what I will say is that she does encourage Barry Allen to come back to Star Labs and get the team together. As far as being a leader at Star Labs, no, that doesn't happen. Iris has a job. She works at Picture News, and we know her as this iconic reporter. And what I will say about her strength is that this season we will see her step into that role, which I'm very excited about because I think she has a lot to offer Team Flash in that way. So
Gotcha.
She just basically called Andrew Kreisberg out on his bullshit.
I do applaud that. Although they could still both be right. It just if she's talking about, there's no title change or anything, and he's talking about more of a tacit leadership role where she corrals them. Now you wonder if they were reading the same script, though. Like, how poorly did she act those scenes if she didn't understand that at all?
Hey, I don't know.
They could both be wrong. I'm just going to assume they're both wrong for now. Seems more likely than anything.
I'm just hoping that it susses itself out.
I'm sure it'll do that. Yeah.
Now, Marc Guggenheim tweeted a picture of the Legends of Tomorrow table read. Mm-hmm. We saw a picture. We got like a picture of the little script and stuff, so that's kind of cool. But you can't really see anything other than Brandon Routh as Ray Palmer way in the background.
Right.
I didn't really see anything other than that. Now, actually, Legends of Tomorrow has started filming, and they have released the first photo of Hawkman and Hawkgirl in costume. And I think they look okay. They look pretty good. They look very much to me, like the Berlanti CW universe, like their outfits and everything. I actually think Hawkman looked way better in Smallville because he looked a lot closer to his comic book origins, and here he almost kind of looks like Wolverine to me.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I missed that one.
Oh, well.
Hold on. There's an internet.
Pause a second.
There's an internet.
There is an
nearby.
internet.
I can
we do have an internet.
Rectify the situation.
I want everyone to know we're not operating in a vacuum.
No, and I do pay my bills relatively on time, so
Relatively, yes.
Yeah, so I have access to the interwebs,
Right.
and I have to agree. All right, yeah, kind of looks like what would end up being Catwoman eventually, but with extra flair.
Yeah, no, I mean it's about what I figured it would look like. I'm actually
not as much green as I thought there'd be, though.
Here's the thing.
I thought there'd be more green and yellow. I did.
Yeah, here's the thing for me, and I understand this is like season 1 of Legends of Tomorrow. Maybe it's the old school fanboy in me, like kind of peeking out. But whatever it is, I don't know. But
that fella lives outside of his little cage.
I know. He just runs amok, climbing the walls.
Right.
But I understand that it would be impractical for both of them, but I miss those two showing more skin.
There's probably a design where they did it, and it looked a lot more 50 Shades than they would have hoped, and they scrapped it.
Yeah, Hawkgirl.
I'm willing to bet that happened.
Hawkgirl should just be wearing like a yellow and green bra, essentially, and Hawkman is just wearing like a couple of straps on his chest. That's it.
That is most of the time what Hawkman wears. That's actually something.
It is.
Like, this guy does not look, swole enough to be Hawkman at this point.
No. The dude in Smallville totally had just the straps, and he was badass. They made that dude look just like the comic book. I was like,
yeah. If you can pull off running around in what is essentially leather suspenders and still be intimidating, good on you.
Yeah,
good on you.
Yeah, but no, I think it looks fine, and it looks like it's part of that universe. So whatever.
I feel like he needs a bigger mace. I think it's only about 2 foot long. I wanted to have like a baseball bat sized mace.
Well, I don't know.
I don't want to make fun of the size of a man's mace, but
Right. Well, just one big phallic symbol anyway. Okay. Well, they've released a new Gotham clip called "Looking Up" from, again, Damned If You Do. They've released several clips from this episode. I feel like I've almost watched the episode at this point. But it's Theo
close.
Galvin.
Yeah.
It's Theo Galvin introducing his sister to a group of Arkham villains, including Jerome, Sionis, and Barbara. He tells them that they each possess certain gifts and skills that would be useful, and that they should, under his guidance, team up. Gotham would tremble, he says. Oddly enough, Jerome and Barbara seem to be the most chatty of the villains, and again, they've got that awful cartoony music, that pling, ting, pling, ting, pling, ting. I hate it so much. I don't
know if you're going to mind it nearly as much once it's in the context of an episode.
Yeah,
I'm hoping the pacing does something to relieve that for you.
Maybe, but God, Barbara is really Uma Thurmaning it up.
I know this is going to sound crazy. You may lose all respect for me, but between that promo and the one with just her and Jerome and bad things happen to bad people.
Right.
She's about 3 times more interesting than she was last year. I'm not saying that fixes the whole thing. Notice I didn't say that she's interesting. I just said more than last year.
No, see, okay. Here's what I'm saying. Like, she would have been more interesting to me if she was as severely broken as she was at the end of season 1. Like, she was very, very broken. Like, shattered broken at the end of season 1. Now she's like comically bad supervillain. She's like,
I was liking that a lot more than even the broken thing was. You thought it'd be fun, and then you saw her actually do it, and it was just she didn't pull it off. She was comically crazy. She was bad acting 101 kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's bad either way.
But that was better than what was she before? Like a society girl essentially, or
no, I don't know what she was. They
didn't really develop.
Was she
her
a
very
lawyer?
Much. You couldn't archetype her.
I want to say she was either a lawyer or that may have just been me seeing the Laurel rubbing off on her. But she might have either been a lawyer or in charge of an art gallery. I'm not really sure.
I didn't know if she had a job. We've lost track. And on the long list of things that I need to remember about Gotham, that's not included.
Right. Now they also released a clip of Nigma in a bathroom at the GCPD headquarters. He's talking to Jim Gordon, and then Gordon leaves, and then he's talking to himself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And his mirror self, they pretty much rip off Spider-Man, the first one with like Willem Dafoe talking into the mirror. Like,
see, I disagree, but here's why. And until you've said it, I'd completely forgotten that scene. I recognize that as an overused trope.
It's an overused trope. It definitely is.
But I didn't remember it at all from Spider-Man because
it's like I felt like they were just sitting around going, "What says insanity? Oh, talking to yourself in a mirror."
That'll be clever. No one's ever done that before. No, but
yeah,
I'm not saying they're breaking new ground here. And normally I'm pretty tired of that trope too, but he's fun to watch. And ask yourself this. Which guy would you prefer to have the rest of the season be or focus on? The nerdy one or the cool guy in the mirror? Day.
Neither.
Did you actually need that long to answer that question?
I really did. Like, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that because
I thought you had died.
I thought I died when I watched that clip.
Oh my god. I'm going to start sneaking antidepressants into your food before the season starts. Or we're just going to lose you completely.
No,
I'm going to go buy you a little blue ring.
I do a fair amount of news aggregation for this show, and on about 70% of the sites that have this news, there are all these little advertisements at the bottom, like clickbait advertisements. And apparently
only
there's
70%?
this new, yeah. Well, I'm trying to be hopeful.
You're trying to be hopeful very too. Kind.
I'm overcompensating for the lack of enthusiasm for Gotham, but I'm trying to be hopeful in this respect. But anyway, but yeah, there are these little advertisements and lots of clickbait. And one of them is, new limitless pill. I don't know what this is or why they're selling it or what. They just need to give it to these writers so that they can think better and write better.
These are the connections you're making on these websites now? Okay. Yeah, we got to get you a break.
Yeah. So anyway, one more bit of TV news. Supergirl's Mehcad Brooks is saying that his James Olsen is going to be different, but really good. Now, sort of segueing television into movies, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini have weighed in on Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
Right.
In Suicide Squad.
Right.
Now, our fan Christopher White actually also sent us this. I'd already kind of bookmarked it, but because it's Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
At Bruce this point, do you even have to search for it, or does the internet just like wake you up in the middle of the night and tell you that Paul Dini has mentioned another thing?
I receive an update via Google Alert, and I ignore it for a couple of days.
Of course,
I get to it, but now Bruce Timm was somewhat positive. I'm sorry. He said it was interesting and pretty cute. And Paul Dini had a lot more to say about it. He says, I know it's jarring to a lot of people who love the classic Bruce Timm suit. I love it myself. But in that world of the Suicide Squad movie, that is, I just don't see it happening. He said, it's a rougher, more street look. I think it works fine. I think Margot Robbie is very nice. She's a wonderful actress, certainly very attractive and very talented. I'm very excited to see that interpretation of Harley. And then he weighed in on Joker. He says he described it as the look as a decadent rock star. He says there's a little bit of Sid and Nancy to the Joker and Harley look, which I always felt would not be a bad look if they were in a live-action movie. If you put them in that realistic world, I think they would look like down-and-out rockers. They would look dangerous.
That's not a bad take, yeah.
That sounds like a blessing to me.
Yeah. I completely agree with him on Harley, especially. Like, if she had that little, black and red outfit on, it would be, I don't know, weird, to put it mildly.
Well, if they did it somewhat more like the body armor style that I've seen here and there, that...
a little bit.
I can deal with it. But.
I thought if they were going to do anything that had previously been around, they would have used the Arkham games look.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't go that way, because the Arkham games always somewhat seemed a little too far. Like, I didn't need sexy nurse Harley, I didn't need to, like, It always seemed weird to me that she's just walking around in like sexy nurse outfit or whatever. I don't know. I don't want Harley Quinn to look like she just, I don't know, frequents the Halloween store or whatever, Party City or whatever it is, you know. Anyway,
I could deal with it. I mean, it's between those two. It's like you've expressed on many occasions. Joker is whoever he feels like being that day, and Harley, I feel like, can pretty much do the same thing within the parameters that she doesn't piss Joker off. Obviously,
right.
Now they won't have to deal with that dynamic, I think, in the new one as much. It looked like they were more like, how do you describe it? More of a Bonnie and Clyde kind of feel in the clips we've seen in the movie. Mm-hmm. More just two equals out there having a good romp,
right? Rather
than the, not even borderline DV circumstances that we've seen so many other times.
Yeah. Someone was talking to Jason Momoa actually at the Fan Expo in Canada, and they asked him about fish jokes.
About fish jokes?
Yeah.
Why?
About how people make fun of Aquaman.
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Why would you just... That's even if he was Aquaman, if he was actually Aquaman, that's an odd thing to walk up and be like, hey, do you know any good fish jokes?
No. They were just, asking him what he thought of, like, if there was going to be any room for, like, if people were going to be making fun of this Aquaman, essentially. And what he thought of all the Aquaman fish jokes.
Gotcha.
About how people
so has he seen
Aquaman,
Family Guy, is what they asked him.
Yeah. Or Robot Chicken, yeah.
Or Robot Chicken.
And Jason Momoa said, it's cute. It's funny. People make fun of him. There's a bunch of jokes about him. But I'm like, just wait. Let's just wait a little bit. Then you can make jokes.
That actually sounds very Aquaman-y. Very like the badass one hook for a hand Aquaman.
Right.
There's a scene somewhere in the books where he's strolling down the streets and people make fun of him. He like forms a sword out of the water in the air and freaking runs a guy through. There we go. I maintain that if all he ever did, the problem is if you're too far on land, you may not be able to get much use out of Aquaman. He's still real strong, great fighter, but no water to play with, dude. Mm-hmm. The stronger versions of him can basically control water. All he's got to do is carry a freaking Dasani with him the entire time he's on land. He's got this.
He really doesn't even have to do that, honestly.
Yeah, apparently he can just form it out of the water in the air and send it on its way, which I'm sure doesn't create some sort of nuclear CFC heavy radiation effect out of air, but whatever, dude. It's only the land. It's only the 30% of the world you don't care about, bastard.
Late. No. So Zack Snyder has said that his son is not going to be Robin. He has actually come out and said that.
Yeah. Another just, come on, guys. Why are you doing this to us?
Now, Zack Snyder also dissed Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
What the fuck, dude?
I know.
I've seen your movie, Snyder, Zach, and you would have done well to take a few hints from these guys. Ant-Man was charming as all hell.
Yeah.
And it was refreshing on top of all that to go through. Like, you go through the entire process. You see Avengers 2, and they're literally lifting a city. It's a whole. It's refreshing to go down to a little story about a dude and his daughter.
Well, yeah. Now, to be fair, he didn't actually criticize the movie so much because I doubt he's seen it.
Hopefully he hasn't had time because he's spending all of his making the DC movies good.
Yeah. Well, he was responding, I should say, to Steven Spielberg saying that superhero movies are a fad that's going to go away like the Western did. Aww. And he says, and Zack Snyder says, I think he's right. Mm-hmm. But Batman and Superman won't because they transcend fads. They transcend that.
I think that's
they're
clear.
Icons. And then he says they're not like a flavor of the week like Ant-Man or whatever that was.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird thing. It is a diss. I don't know what to call it. It is, but it also did sound like you'd never seen the damn thing. So I don't know.
Oh, he definitely hasn't seen the movie. Zack Snyder has got his head so far up his own ass.
Now they seem to have it firmly up Ben Affleck's.
Yeah. And that's, one thing that I've noticed about, Zack Snyder seems to be this way. David Ayer is totally this way. I mean, he's dissed Marvel in the past as well.
Yeah.
And there's so many DC
I do like
fans.
David Ayer's sense of humor, though. And the few times I've seen David Ayer actually speak, I do actually like his sense of humor.
I don't.
Really?
He reminds me of the jackass that does the Boondock Saints movies. Troy Duffy, I guess his name is.
The guy that's killing zombies, or the other one?
No, this is the actual director.
Oh,
Troy
okay.
Duffy, the writer-director. Like, yeah, let's listen to some heavy metal and talk about how much Marvel sucks and, oh, they've got talking raccoons. We've got the real shit. It's dark and gritty. Dude, play nice.
We're all in this together, right?
Right. Like,
I would really like to know what is the cross section of fans. Like, what is all right? Like, for instance, I'm one of the ones who's going to be ass in seat every time Marvel or DC has something going on, except Fantastic Four. Couldn't be bothered.
Right.
But like when that gets to the dollar theater, though, I'm going to go have a great fucking laugh. 'Cause then it'll be at the value I'd be willing to pay for that movie for an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm ass in seat for a Marvel or a DC product. I feel like I'm in the majority. Who are these people that will only watch DC products?
Mm-hmm. I don't. Yeah, I've seen a lot of criticism.
Obviously, we're all about the DC products, but doesn't mean I'm not going to go watch, Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm all about all of those things.
All of those things.
I mean, I am. It has taken everything within me not to go watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3 trailer. Everything within me.
I know the feeling.
And the only reason I have it is because I've been focused on this show and doing this right now. Like,
I know.
The second we stop recording, I'm going to watch trailers for Marvel stuff. And
you bastard, sending me a link to Doctor Who prologue like 20 minutes before we do that. That is mean.
Right.
That is mean. I could either watch it and all I'd be thinking about is, you know what? Arrow would be a lot better if Who dropped by. That's all. It would invade my brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I watched it and I was still okay. Mm-hmm. So I figured you would be okay. I'm sorry.
I don't trust myself to compartmentalize that well. I mean, I might get away with it, but I'm not risking it.
I risked it, man, and it was totally worth it.
Uh-huh.
All right. One more piece of news. You may be a stronger man than
I think.
One more piece of news before this this episode wraps up, and it may be something we need to talk about here. But Christopher White actually sent us a link to a rumor that's going around. And right after he showed it to me, I saw it every friggin' where.
Yeah, I had just seen it, and it was just the opposite order. I had seen it and then glanced right over.
Right. And they're apparently the rumor, and I have found it debunked, by the way. But the rumor...
I've been waiting to see whether there was meat to it before I worried.
Right. Well, the rumor was that Warner Brothers sent down a directive to cut out Superman movie. Like, they said it was too Superman intensive, and they wanted more Batman. So that Batman versus Superman is going to have way less Superman than originally intended, and it was going to be like, very Batman top heavy. Now, I did read a rumor that debunked it. They said, the rumor also, the previous rumor had also said that there were going to be reshoots. The fact of the matter is, reshoots are, like, a lot of people jump on the reporting of reshoots as saying, like, oh no, the film is in trouble. They have to reshoot a bunch of stuff.
No, it happens all the time.
Reshoots happen constantly.
Right.
It is part of the movie making process. You get something in there in editing, you don't have a take of it that you need, you go back and you reshoot it if you have the money to do it. Especially huge summer.
You know how hard it is
movies.
To direct an entire film and manage to get every single shot you could ever possibly want the first time?
Yeah, it is. Like, I have directed any number of, well, not any number, but a lot.
Probably an actual number that exists somewhere.
Right. 8.
It's finite.
Yeah, I've directed a lot for maladjusted.tv, and I'm not saying they're great. If I had the money, I would have reshot a lot of stuff.
Right.
Like, it's just impossible to get everything perfect the way you want it. And when you have a studio that's shoving money down your throat because they want the perfect summer tentpole movie, you're going to do reshoots. Right. You're just gonna. And you're just gonna.
Like, all right, you're likely to drop something. You're likely to get into the editing process and realize that a scene's missing a couple of lines that would make something make a lot more fucking sense. You don't want to have a situation. Obviously, I do think it goes off the rack when you're off the trail when you get to the editing process and you realize there's a flaw in your story and have to go do something. That can be a problem. But at least you realized it and you went to fix it. But even in the best scenario, imagine you've made this, you've done, what do they call it? Primary, help me. What's the term? Primary photography? Whatever.
Principal.
Thank you.
Principal photography.
Principal. That was going to kill me. So you've finished that. You've wrapped. You go back. You're in the editing. The executives start seeing what you're doing, and they start throwing more money at you. And you think to yourself, "Man, I had to cut a couple corners on this one scene. I could have made that so much better." And then they actually hand you the check for it. Yeah, you go back and you do the thing you really wanted to do.
Or
and that's not,
if
that's not something to panic about. That's something to get excited about.
And I'm not gonna lie. Mm-hmm. I hope they kind of went back and said, "Wait, let's go back. Let's check out that DC on-screen Man of Steel review and see exactly what their problems were with Man of Steel."
I assume that's what happened.
Back and right. Or they could have checked out any of the other 100 things online. Where
no, but clearly it was us.
Man of Steel, right? Clearly,
I think that's obvious.
How could it not be us? I mean, we're us. No, but hopefully they kind of took some of that criticism into consideration and said, "Oh, these guys are smarter than we took. We gave them credit for, and let's go back and make sure that everything makes sense." But I mean, maybe they didn't do that. We'll see. I guess in May? Is that right? May?
I thought it was March.
It might be March. Hell, I don't know.
It'll be bordering on getting warm again by the time we see this movie.
At this point, I'm just going to live at the movie theater in 2016. I don't know what's coming out and when it's coming out. I'm going to be just sitting there injecting superheroes into my blood like heroin. Just...
You're just going to take your copy of the DC Comics Encyclopedia and just go sit outside the theater and wait.
Yeah. I don't even need it. I don't even need that. I'm just going to go just walk into the movie theater in March, and when I come back out, it'll be friggin' August.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't go out. In August, Suicide Squad comes out. So it needs to be, mid to late August.
I didn't say it was going to be at the beginning of August.
Okay. After the important landmark of August, you'll get out of there.
All right, you know what? I'll just be safe. I'll walk out on my birthday, September 29th.
There you go.
2016.
Hey, that'll be about the time that, Arrow Season 5 and Flash Season 3 will show up. And
right.
Legends of Tomorrow will have been named Legends of Yesterday by then because they're going to revamp the entire show.
Yeah, the theater will change its name to DC On-Screen Theater just because we've been recording there the entire summer.
Well, I would assume it's because you've spent the entire summer there and have slowly vandalized the title of the theater.
Well, that's the secret, real reason.
Added a couple of inches of paint every day, hoping no one would notice.
Right. That's the secret, real reason.
Right.
But now,
while you're there, update all their copies of Active X while you're hanging around the theater.
Oh, God. So, yeah, they will probably be put, from what they said in the article, I believe it was Zack Snyder said, there is going to be more Batman in the movie. Mm-hmm. But we're not cutting any Superman.
Yeah, that was...
the whole movie hinges on Superman.
It does. And we're going to get all the Superman you shot for. But I don't know. I think what they did was... These reshoots are just going to guarantee that I have to pee so bad by the end of this movie.
Right.
Because I feel like it was already going to be about 2:20. It's going to be a good 2:30 by now, and I'm just going to be seeing yellow.
Better than seeing red, my friend. Better than seeing red.
Right. I'll see colors, even in a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah.
You're going to be comparing the trailers to the final product to see if he color graded it, aren't you? Because he'll have had nearly a year almost by that point with the product at hand. I don't know. It wouldn't
I probably will. I know I was worried. I was worried when Man of Steel came out because when the trailers, for the longest time, all we had for trailers for Man of Steel was a little boy running around like a swing set, and there was a butterfly, and the whole thing looked like a very desaturated indie film.
Yeah, it did.
And so I was a little worried, and my fears they came true. So I'm just gonna roll with this. I'm just gonna roll with it. Whatever the hell they do.
Yeah, you'll make it.
I'll roll with it, and I'll bitch about it, and you guys will hear about it, and
hopefully you'll feel like bitching too, and
yeah,
we can all be hateful together,
right? But not about Marvel.
That's not true. We would be pretty hard on Marvel if we spent this much time on it.
Well,
I mean, there were
it depends
flaws
on the movie.
in the last couple of films, at least.
Oh, sure. And you know what? We've started this DC on-screen podcast. My viewing experience for Marvel has like gone down about 300%.
Right.
Because I saw Age of Ultron once.
Yeah, I know. It was strange, but I think it was, it had more to do with the, fact that it was only really worth seeing once.
See, I don't necessarily feel that way though. I thought it was a pretty good movie. It wasn't
as
a
great
good
movie.
As the first.
But I didn't find myself like in heat for it like I did the first one.
Right.
I was maddened.
To be fair,
uh-huh.
We have a Batman vs Superman coming up,
which I will probably watch 5 or 6 times.
Civil War had already been announced. I don't care about Age of Ultron nearly as much as I care about Civil War. Like, to me, Age of Ultron just felt like a prelude to Civil War. And, I mean, freaking Spider-Man's coming in, and then we've got Batman vs. Superman, and those two are going to be going head-to-head at the box office, and it's all very exciting. And
and that's not even the part that the thing I'm most excited about at this point on the entire Marvel docket is actually at the end of this year.
What's that?
Purple Man.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they released the Jessica Jones trailer, too. So.
Oh, I saw that. And yes, I avoided that like the plague. Just pure self-preservation. Didn't have enough time to, geek out about that too. But if anyone's not in the know on it, freaking David Tennant's going to be Purple Man. He's the big bad for Jessica Jones.
And we're back
in a
Doctor
Netflix
Who.
series that's obviously going to be willing to go dark. Because if you saw Daredevil,
yeah, man,
God, Tennant is going to be just a fascinating villain. He's going to be good.
Yeah, but all that's Marvel
or
Doctor Who. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of DC On Screen.
Well, I want to mention one more time because every day I wake up and Stephen Amell proves that he's my hero.
Oh, what did he do now?
Just a quick one. He specifically tweeted that Roger Goodell was a coward.
Who is Roger Goodell?
Commissioner of the NFL. If you happen to actually, if you happen to be a nerd of both football and the comics like myself, God, Stephen, you're a good man. That's all I had. Just mention it.
Well, I mean, if we're going to mention that, we might as well mention that Stone Cold Steve Austin has called out Stephen Amell and said that his performance at SummerSlam was pathetic. But I was going to try to put a moratorium on the sports-related or faux sports-related, as it is with wrestling.
Well, now it's just morphed into Stephen Amell is my hero news.
And at any given time, this show could morph into that, and I'm trying to keep that at bay.
He's a very active person, though, man. He's all over the fucking place. He was a find for the CW because you got built-in crazy levels of advertisement out of the kid. I don't know if that's in his contract or if he just does it, naturally. But man, he's worth the money.
Yeah. Well, he is like a social marketing networking guru. Mm-hmm. Like he's just everywhere.
He is.
All right. We are DC On Screen. And you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, DCOnScreen.com. We're also on Facebook, by the way. If you are, like us, a non-Marvel hater, you can go check out our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall over on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. They are also on iTunes and Stitcher and on MCUcast.com. Both DC On Screen and MCUcast, we're both proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network. The next episode you'll be getting from us is going to be a Gotham preview, basically what to expect in Season 2 of Gotham.
What do we expect?
Until then. Oh, we're about to get into it. Until then, keep some DC on your screen. I know we will.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details. We all love the Low Country lifestyle, which is why we should do our best to protect it. To get insurance that helps you protect your home from whatever the Low Country throws at you, contact CT Lowndes and Company today. Their local agents can review your coverage to help make sure you're properly protected. CT Lowndes and Company has been helping protect and insuring the Low Country since 1850. Visit ctlowndes.com to learn more and request a quote. That's CTLOWNDES.com.